In Memoriam, Madeleine Albright.
We are honoring Madeleine Albright, who passed away from cancer Wednesday at the age of 84.
Albright aggressively pushed NATO's expansion into Eastern Europe and insisted.
In breaking news this afternoon that former U.S. Secretary of State Madeleine Albright has died.
And just remember, there's a special place in hell for women who don't help each other.
Today we lost a strong feminist, a remarkable humanitarian, a great American, and last but not least, a staunch defender of liberal capitalist democracy worldwide. This is the untold story of Madeleine Albright. Madeleine hailed from a poor background with her Czech Jewish father barely making ends meet working as a diplomat. The family always struggled to provide for little Madeleine, who had a working class upbringing while growing up in a luxurious Prague apartment expropriated from a German who had been expelled because of his ethnicity. But somehow things took a turn for the even worse. After the communists seized power in Czechoslovakia, the family then had to flee to the land of the free and the home of the brave, the glorious United States of America, the world's most peaceful and morally sound country. Here, following in her father's footsteps, Madeleine got into politics, where she heroically served as one of the most important Democratic Party foreign policy advisors, and then U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, where she bravely advocated for regime change and was instrumental in getting Bill Clinton to start a humanitarian bombing campaign against Serbia that focused on hitting important tools of the Serbian regime, like bridges across the Danube and the University Hospital Center in Belgrade. In total, 6,000 communist fascist Serbian civilians ended up wounded or dead during this humanitarian glassing of Belgrade for daring to oppose the glorious United States neoliberal agenda that requires every country to privatize their most important industries and have at least 5 mandatory pride parades every single day. And when Serbian Stalinist white supremacists in 2012 confronted Madeleine Albright with images of the victims of NATO's actions in Kosovo, she bravely stood up against this mansplaining by telling the activists, quote, "Disgusting Serbs, get out." Thus brutally demolishing the provocateurs with her American sass. But this is only one tiny example of Albright's long history of standing up for American values abroad. In 1990, the US started sanctioning the Sunni jihadist, Islamist, communist, Arab, Baathist, socialist with fascist characteristics Iraqi nation. But because the UN and the US are champions of mercy, they allowed the brown Iraq people to import food in exchange for the worthless sludge called oil. Despite this gesture of good faith from the international community, up to 500,000 Iraqi children were starved to death by the serial cheater and war criminal Bill Clinton's government that Albright worked for. And work she would, because when the Iraqi propaganda operation, also known as 60 Minutes, interviewed Albright about the 500,000 dead Iraqi children, Albright, always the visionary and the professional, calmly and precisely dismantled their trick questions.
We have heard that 500,000 children have died. I mean, that's more children than died in Hiroshima. And you know, is the price worth it?
I think this is a very hard choice, but we think the price is worth it. It is a moral question, but the moral question is even a larger one. Don't we owe to the American people and to the American military that this man not be a threat?
But Madeleine, as mentioned before, is also a great humanitarian. So when the American client state Kosovo, set up after the bombing of Serbia, needed a healthy dose of free market capitalism, her very own investment firm, Albright Capital Management, proposed privatizing Kosovo's state-owned telecom and postal company. She truly was a trailblazer who showed young women around the world that the grind never ends, even if that means overthrowing a third world government. Madeleine Albright has also always cared about the average American's health. wealth, so therefore she has also been busy promoting the totally legit pyramid, I mean multi-level marketing company Herbalife. However, it sadly appears that sometimes God just needs his angels back too soon. Therefore, on March 23rd, 2022, Madeleine Albright peacefully passed away, surrounded by her millions of dollars that she has acquired through her benevolent schemes across the globe. But not before writing a strong statement in support of Ukraine's girls, who she without a doubt held in as high regard as the Iraqi girls in the 1990s. Thank you so much for watching this emotional biographical recap of a strong feminist's life, who is without a doubt receiving her rightful and long-awaited rewards in the afterlife as we speak.
And just remember, there's a special place in hell for women who don't help each other.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Again, consider donating on Patreon. Everything goes a long way and is a great help because making these videos take a considerable amount of time and effort. I hope everyone has a wonderful day or night, and remember, share the video everywhere you can. See you soon.